Hey everybody, Jason Burmis here on a walk with my lady Karma, and I wanted to take a minute and talk about some anti-establishment films. Now, I know there are a few people out there that might think that this latest Joker fiasco was an anti-establishment film. I just did a full review, spoiler-filled, although I warn you when the spoilers come. So definitely go check that out if you want to know about it. So why do people think that this is an anti-establishment film? Well, it's put across pretty relatively. Number one, it's rich versus poor. It's getting worse out there. And the idea of this Joker almost builds a V for Vendetta-like following. Okay? Now, two of the films I compared it to be a hybrid of were Taxi Driver and Fight Club, right? 22 watching, 3 thumbs up. Let's thumb it up, guys. Now, the Fight Club aspect to me is interesting because we're talking about dissociative disorder in this film, right? Reality dissociative disorder. You don't know exactly what's real and what's not, right? But in Fight Club, the anti-establishment message is brought to you by a group of people that have bought into the system, that have done everything right, that work a 9 to 5. And that ultimately are not murderers, right? And obviously there's one person, one character at the helm, Tyler Durden, but it's a very us against them collectivist picture in the sense, again, of anti-authoritarianism, anti-corporate structure, and very anti-establishment at the time. And a great book, by the way, also. So Fight Club, far superior, in my opinion. Now, another anti-establishment film that I think deserves noting is much further back than Fight Club, and it would be A Clockwork Orange. And largely misunderstood, but it looked at the way to kind of reform crime through brainwashing and pilling people up. And unfortunately, it's kind of where we're at. It's kind of where we're at. We got a pilled up society, and even this movie reflects on the pilled up aspect, even though it looks to me like it takes place during the 1980s. Now, the reason I want to bring up the anti-war movement and anti-establishment films is because there really aren't any right now. There really, really aren't any. I mean, on the lower levels, let's look at some documentaries, right? On the lower levels, you have somebody like Morgan Spurlock, who did Super Size Me. Great film, exposed how bad the fast food industry is. And then now he has a sequel so many years later called Super Size Me Holy Chicken. And although it does a good job of exposing quote unquote big chicken, it also falters in the fact that if you can't beat him, join him. He opens his own unhealthy fast food restaurant. And throughout it, they admit that things haven't gotten better. It's just been terminology that's changed, and spin and PR, public relations. That's all it is. In fact, they keep using this term halo in the movie. When we talk about Hollywood pictures that are anti-establishment or anti-war, where are they? Instead, we have things like American Sniper, the Chris Kyle story, where, you know, it's put out there that we need to remain in this war on terror. And the anti-war movement is almost non-existent in this country. Let's bring it. Let's admit it. The fact that 90% of the media, the vast majority of establishment politicians on both ends, are all over Trump and really playing up now this strike by Turkey in Syria should let you know these people don't want peace. They want our troops to bleed and die for the predator class. That's what they want. 40 watching, 10 thumbs up. Let's double that. Can we get it to 20, guys? Can we get it to 20 thumbs up? And you got to ask yourself, when somebody who's part of the squad, they're part of the squad, right? Ilhan Omar, who's said some okay things in the past about our situation in the Middle East. Nothing great. Just toes the line and says, this is a gift to ISIS and Russia, and the Kurds will be slaughtered. Well, if the Kurds align with the Syrian military, which they very well could do, they'll be fine. They'll be you know, it hasn't been easy roads in there anyway. It's a disgusting and disturbing fact. Most people have no idea how we even got into that conflict. Nobody. You ask the regular Joe, the average Jane on the street, what timber sycamore is. Say it with me. Timber sycamore. They're going to go, well, isn't that some kind of plant life? That's what timber sycamore is, isn't it? And then you say, well, actually, it's the CIA operation in 2012 when we started arming rebels secretly and putting some of our forces in that region. 2012, Obama administration. Well, geez, I didn't know that. And then further down the line, do you know, hey, by the way, remember that last time that Assad gassed his own people in Duma? You remember that one? I do, that son of a bitch. That son of a bitch dictator. Well, did you know that it leaked from the OPCW, the chemical weapons report, that was actually staged and never took place? And journalists like Pearson Sharp and Robert Fisk were on the ground claiming it didn't take place within days of it happening. Do you know about that? They'll look at you like you have 3 fucking heads. Right, Karma? Karma, 3 heads. And by the way, she's doing great today, by the way, just so you know, is the 2-month anniversary of our visit to the vet where she was diagnosed, again, I keep saying it, but it's so unbelievable, with osteosarcoma in that right arm of hers. And thank you for that super chat. Do you think Trump is supporting certain groups in the Middle East with, what'd you say, 9/11 truth? Someone else has to comment so I can see that again. I'm sorry about that. My settings on the walk and talks aren't great. I do appreciate the super chat. Well, until I see that again, okay, there it goes. Because of 9/11 truth? I don't know if that's the case. Hold on. Because he knows 9/11. I think he knows a lot more about 9/11 than he's letting on. But when you look at it, do I think that he knows the truth behind it? No. Absolutely not. I'm sure he's heard, a lot of insider theories over the years that you and I may not be privy to. But does he have any idea what that operation entails? No, the guy couldn't protect Epstein. Let's get into it. He couldn't protect Epstein. Give me a break. So yes, $10 super chat for the fenbenzidol. Thank you. I just upped on the fenbenzidol. So like Greenleaf, for those that don't know what they're talking about, I basically was given, she was already on Proin, which she's off of now, by the way, which was a sphincter tightener after several UTIs. I fixed that with a cranberry extract known as D. Manus. So we had already started on that, right? She's walking pretty good for a 12-and-a-half-plus-year-old dog, by the way, that was never supposed to take a park walk again. And we went in, and her right paw, she wasn't mobile. A lot of people had seen the limps going on just before that 2 months and getting worse and worse. And basically, she got the x-rays. He determined it was more than likely osteosarcoma. We got both sides x-rayed, and he showed me what he thought appeared to be cancer. Now, the only way 100% would have been to do a bone biopsy, which we did not do. But I do have the paperwork. Nobody believes me. I mean, you guys believe me, but a lot of people give me a strange look. And they basically gave me a dope med, told them to call them in a week, but they gave me 2 weeks to 2 months for her to live. Today is 2 months. I do not believe she's going to die tomorrow. Hopefully not next month. I mean, I remember when I looked at him with the diagnosis, I said, well, what do I got? 6 months with her? And he looked at me and he's like, more like 2 weeks to 2 months max. And I broke down a little bit. I'm a human being. I love this dog. And she's doing awesome. So what do I have her on? MyCancerStory.rocks, the Joe Tippin story. He does it 3 days on and 4 days off. I got to be honest. I do it every day. So what do I do every day? I go buy the 40-pound dog fenbenzidol, even though she's a little bit bigger. It's at the store, right? You get 3 packs of that, and I break those 3 packs into 3 each. So that's 9 servings of the fenbenzidol. That's once a day. That comes with 1 pill of liquid vitamin E. Basically, I pop the little pill and I dump it in there, and that's essential. Then also some turmeric curcumin, high grade, and the last thing would be high grade CBD oil. And I'm getting that from honestpaws.com. But you're looking at the results. I'm not making a dime. There's no affiliate links. I don't own stock in those companies. I just think that people should know the truth. And the fact that Tippin saved his life as a 96-pound skeleton who had done chemo and every other thing to try to save his life, and that he's walking and talking today, I mean, that's a reality. So that's it, guys. I don't know what else to say. I love my dog, and hopefully we're going to have another birthday with her in March. I really hope and pray. I think it's a real possibility, seeing how she's doing and how she's feeling. But we'll see. What kind of food am I feeding her? Well, I had not been feeding her dog food for the last 2 years after my last dog ended up getting brain cancer. Basically, she did have a biopsy because she had it on the outside. The cells were cancerous. She ended up having brain seizures, and she was like a little over 10. Another breed, a Staffordshire Terrier, my little LJ. I love her a lot, miss her. But I tried to do THC with her, concentrated. The Rick Simpson oil, couldn't do it. But after that, I stopped feeding my dogs dog food altogether. My dog eats generally chicken, beef. I throw raw eggs, 2 raw eggs in with all that medicine and mix it up. That's how she takes it, and then she takes it with that. Sometimes I put vegetables in there, not always. Sometimes there's a little bit of rice, a little bit of carbs, but that's very low. It's mostly meat and eggs. I'm not gonna lie. The dog farts, they smell horrible. They're overwhelming at times, but I love my dog, and I'll make the sacrifice. They smell sweet to me as long as she's next to me on the couch. That's all I know, guys. So I hope you like this walk and talk. Thumbs it up, share it with others. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe. Go check out the other stuff. And if you saw the Joker, please go check out my Joker review. See what you think. There's a lot of afterthoughts that I didn't actually get to talk about now, especially concerning Fight Club and Taxi Driver. You know, Taxi Driver's redeeming quality is, even though he's a psychopath, he ends up saving a child prostitute in the end, right? I mean, he's totally nuts, but at the end of the day, he saves a child prostitute. So one of the aspects I didn't talk about in the Joker review. Guys, I love you, and I'll see you on the flip.